Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and I'd like to welcome you to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. If you'd like to learn more about Stoicism, or if you want some added inspiration in your day, just go to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com. If you're interested in transforming your life with Stoic principles, then I also offer one-on-one coaching. To book your first free session, just head to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching and follow the links. But for now, enjoy this episode. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. You've probably heard the phrase, whatever you focus on is what you'll get, or some variation of that phrase. Wherever your mind goes, that's what you'll see. It's like when you really like a certain car, and then as soon as you start thinking about that car more often, you'll start seeing it everywhere on the road. And the reason why this happens is because your brain is an automation machine. It takes a lot to run a brain. In fact, the brain uses around 20% of all the energy we consume. And so with so many tasks and so many responsibilities, the brain has to save some time by finding shortcuts. And this means that whatever we focus on is what we will find. Think of the brain like the advertising department of Facebook. The brain, or the advertising department, knows exactly what you, the user, like to focus on. And it therefore customizes the advertisements that you see because it knows that you're likely to want to see them. And so when people ask if you can reprogram your mind, I answer by saying that you can do this by changing what you focus on. When you change what you focus on, your brain will change the way that it presents the world to you. And to prove this to you, I want you to do a quick exercise for me. And I should mention that you should definitely not do this exercise if you're operating heavy machinery or driving. So when I say go, I want you to pause this podcast, close your eyes, pick a color, and say the name of that color 10 times. Then open your eyes and see how quickly you recognize the items around you that are that color. Are you ready? Go. Did you do it? And if you did you quickly find everything within your vicinity that was the color that you were naming? So what's happening here? You changed your focus, and your brain quickly made sure that what you were focusing on was what you saw. So what am I getting at here, and how does it relate to Stoicism? Well, the Stoics taught this kind of thing too, but instead of focus, they used the term opinion. For example, Epictetus said, "It's not the events, but our opinion about them that cause us suffering." What he's basically saying is that your opinion about certain events will determine the way that you feel about those events, because what you focus on is what you get. So if you can just change your opinion, or the way that you feel about life, not only will you notice a change in how you see your life, but you'll be happier and more effective for it. This is why the Stoics taught that we should learn to love what we have instead of always wanting newer and nicer things. By changing your focus from wanting more to being grateful for what you have, you're essentially freed from all of the anxiety and anger that your previously held opinions about life were giving you, and now you can be happy with whatever you have. And, having this information about how our mind works not only allows us to reprogram our mind for more effective mindsets, but it also allows us to understand why other people think what they think and do what they do. Let's take, for example, United States politics right now. Because if there's any topic that never fails to unite a community and bring everyone together, it's politics. If you're on the right, then you're probably looking at the most right-leaning media and articles that disarm the left. And so you're likely to not only keep on being a right-leaning person, but your values will probably strengthen. And the same would also happen to a person who is more left-leaning. And so when you focus only on one side of the spectrum, then this creates a confirmation bias in your mind that will strengthen your current beliefs and values as you focus more on what you want to see. This is why the United States is so clearly left and right at the moment. Because people have their opinions, and because that's all they focus on, that's all that they will see. So ideally, the Stoics would advise that the only way out of this trap would be to remove your opinions of what's right and wrong, and now to begin your search for wisdom and truth based not on what you're focusing on right now, but rather based on solid philosophical and scientific arguments and evidence. And I would always encourage you to use this method to make yourself a wiser person, but you simply cannot rely on other people to take the same measures in their own life. That's something that is outside of your control. But moving on, I don't want to spend too much time on this side of things, because I'd rather give you some advice on how to change what you see in the world by changing your focus. Because if you can do this, then you can be a happier and more effective person. And I've already seen this with so many of my coaching clients. To start, I want you to think of an opinion that you've had for some time now about yourself or the world or humanity or life in general. Here are some examples. I'm not worthy of love. As a whole, humanity is bad. I don't do enough. Bad things happen to me all the time. I'm unlucky. Now, let's take one of these examples. Maybe the opinion that people are bad as a whole. And I'll give you a strategy that you can use to change that opinion and to therefore change the way that you see the world. Because I think that we can all agree that to have the opinion that all people are bad really would hinder your ability to have great relationships in life, and therefore it would lead you to having greater anxiety, less happiness. So if you do genuinely believe that as a whole people are bad, I want you to start a daily journal, just for a week at least. This could be in an actual journal or just in the Notes app on your phone. And here's what I want you to do. Carry that journal with you throughout the day. And every time you see someone do something nice or kind, I want you to pause, notice what they did, and write it down in your journal. You could even just take 5 minutes at the end of your day to look back over the day and look for examples of people who were doing kind things. If you will do this for just a week, then I can guarantee that you'll find that the reason why you believe that people are bad is because you are only focusing on the bad things that people were doing. But if you take the time to really think and focus on the good things that people are doing in your life around you, then you'll see just how easy it is to change what you see and believe by changing what you focus on. I've encouraged some of my mindset coaching clients to do this exercise, and what they tell me is that once they start to change their focus, it actually becomes the dominating narrative in their mind. For example, if they believed that they were not living up to their expectations, or that they were not worthy of the success that they were finding, and then they wrote down 3 things that they did very well every single day for a week, after that week they would say that their dominating thoughts had switched from "I'm not good enough" to "I'm doing pretty well with everything that I'm doing." And that's an amazing shift. Can you think of any dominating thoughts, focuses, or opinions that you have that are making you unhappy, ineffective, or anxious? If you can, I would really appreciate it if you would try this exercise. As you do, I know that you'll come to understand the power of what we focus on, and you'll know that at any moment in your life you can begin the process of reprogramming your mind. You don't have to feel like this. Change what you focus on, and you'll change your life. Change your opinions, and life will change the way that it presents itself to you. I'll talk to you in the next episode, but until then, I hope that this episode has helped you on your rise to the good life. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I hope that you've gotten a lot of value out of it, and I hope that it helps you to live a better life. If you have enjoyed the podcast, then don't forget to subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when there are new episodes. If you really love the podcast, then I would appreciate a positive review, whether that's on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever else you listen. Don't forget that if you're interested in one-on-one Stoic coaching, then you can head to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching to book your first free session today.